So you decided that you want to achieve FIRE and you're super hyped up about taking back control of your time and living a financially independent life, but you then realize that you have no idea how to go about achieving it. Well, in this video, we're gonna go over one of the most common methods you can use to achieve FIRE, coming up. What's up everyone, and welcome to the Journey of Finance, where we talk about how to achieve financial independence. My name is Cedric, and if you're joining for the first time, welcome to the channel. I'm a creative entrepreneur, filmmaker, commercial model, and content creator with a passion for pursuing financial independence. On this channel, I share my knowledge on personal finance, as well as my personal journey on the road to FI. So if you're like me and you want to level up on your personal finances, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any video I upload. Now, I know there's a good chance that most of you who decided to click on this video will already know what FIRE or the FIRE movement is, but for those who may not be so familiar, FIRE is an acronym that stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early, and it means exactly how it sounds. The idea behind FIRE isn't necessarily anything new, but in the past decade, there's been a growing movement, especially amongst millennials, that with the right strategy, they can expedite the growth of their retirement nest egg to the point of being able to retire from their work and live off their investments and savings. Now, I made a video going into greater detail on what the FIRE movement is and how it started, which I'll link right here. So be sure to check that out if you need to. Within the FIRE movement community, there's a spectrum of different types of FIRE that individuals usually opt to pursue, ranging from lean FIRE, which is where an individual will typically live extremely frugal and build up just a big enough nest egg to live frugally in retirement, to fat FIRE, which is where higher income earners will aggressively invest a higher percentage of their income to build up a huge nest egg that will allow them to enjoy a more lavish early retirement. And then there are those who might want to retire early but still work a job on the side just to supplement their retirement income, which is the case for Barista FIRE. There are other types of FIRE that I'll cover in a future video, so stay tuned for that. So what are we gonna talk about in this video? Now, it's great to conceptually talk about achieving FIRE, but how do you actually do it? I mean, we all know that we need to spend less, increase our savings rate, and invest money. But like, how do you actually do it? What do you invest in? So in this video, we're gonna go over one path that you can take to achieve FIRE. Remember, FIRE is the end goal, but there are many different ways you can choose to get there. Among the many different ways to achieve FIRE, we're gonna talk about achieving it through the stock market. There are other methods that you can pursue, like real estate investing and cryptocurrency, but we won't focus on that today. Keep in mind that we will keep things high level so that you can have a starting point when it comes to researching these different methods. We can dive a little deeper in future videos, but for now, we'll keep it simple. Living off of your retirement. We need to understand that no matter the method you choose for FIRE, you'll need a way to live off of your retirement annually and to sustain that throughout your retirement. And ideally, you want to be able to protect your investments and live off of the profits of your portfolio so that your portfolio will still be able to grow throughout your early retirement, despite you withdrawing what you need to live off of annually. And that's what this method allows you to do. FIRE through the stock market. One of the more common ways to FIRE is through the stock market. This is where you'll grow your retirement portfolio, typically of securities like stocks or index funds, to reach your FIRE number, which is the number you project that you'll need your portfolio to reach before you can retire. This is a tried and true method of retirement for traditional and early retirees alike. There are many ways to retire through the stock market and different investments to choose from. You can invest in your company 401k, which allows you to invest pre-tax dollars into a tax-deferred retirement account that you can grow and start to access funds as early as 59 and a half. Similarly, you can also use a traditional IRA to invest pre-tax dollars into for a tax-deferred growth, or a Roth IRA to invest after-tax dollars for a tax-free growth, both accounts allowing you to take withdrawals starting from the age of 59 and a half. Or you can invest in individual stocks that either appreciate or into stocks that pay dividends to their shareholders, which are usually quarterly payments investors can reinvest into their portfolio or take as a direct payment. Another popular option that many FIRE pursuers love are index funds, which are a large pool of many different stocks that track a particular index, like the S&P 500, which tracks the top 500 companies in the US market. Many investors love using index funds to achieve FIRE because they are not actively managed, have historically great returns, and you don't have to be an expert in the market to buy them. Simply pick a few good index funds and write it out into early retirement. Now, there are many other investment options in the stock market, but the point is you can pick and choose any combination of these to grow your portfolio as you consistently invest your money into them over time. Stock market withdrawal strategy. Once you achieve your FIRE number and you're ready to retire, you need to determine your withdrawal strategy, which is how you're going to live off of your portfolio in retirement. This is where the famous 4% rule comes into play. The 4% rule is a rule of thumb retirement portfolio withdrawal strategy that is based off of a study published in 1998 out of Trinity University, where 3 finance professors looked at testing different retirement portfolio withdrawal rates and how sustainable they would be for the average retirement based off of historical stock market data. In this study, it was concluded that for a retirement period of 30 years, based on the past performance of the stock market from 1926 to 1995, that a portfolio that consisted mostly of stocks could successfully sustain an inflation-adjusted withdrawal rate of 4% annually, with at least a 95% success rate. That meant that 95 out of 100 stock portfolios that were tested would not have run out of money within a 30-year period. So the general idea behind the 4% withdrawal rate is so that you'll be able to withdraw an amount that takes into account for inflation, protect your principal, and is likely that your portfolio value will continue to grow. It's important to note a few things when referencing this rule. 1, this rule derived from a study that came out over 20 years ago and doesn't take into account market data from 1996 to present day. 2, this study stress tests retirement portfolios up to 30 years time, so it doesn't take into account early retirement scenarios. So with that in mind, I personally think that 4% is probably a little too risky for an early retirement scenario, as we don't have any data to back up a sustainable early retirement of 40 or 50 years using the 4% rule. If you want to take a more conservative approach with your withdrawal strategy, then you can aim to withdraw 3.5 or even 3% to give your portfolio some buffer room. That means you'll need a much bigger FIRE number to account for this. Let's take this overly simplified example just to understand the concept of withdrawing money in retirement. Let's say your portfolio averages a return of 10% annually. Then that means that even after your 4% withdrawal, your portfolio will still have 6% net growth, meaning your portfolio would be even bigger than when you made the 4% withdrawal. Do this year after year, and that's how you would theoretically be able to have a retirement portfolio that not only never runs out of money, but continues to grow despite your annual withdrawals. That is, if your portfolio leaned more towards stocks and less bonds. But remember that this is only a hypothetical example that will work in a perfect world. In reality, some years your portfolio might return higher than your average rate, and some years your portfolio might even suffer a negative return. That's why when it comes to planning an early retirement, having an even more conservative withdrawal rate of 3 or 3.5% would be less riskier in my opinion. Tax considerations. Now, because of time, we won't dive too deep on planning out your stock portfolio retirement strategies when it comes to taxes and age, but here are things that you need to consider early on when planning for FIRE. Your 401k and traditional or Roth IRA accounts are designed for you to accumulate assets during your working years. In other words, you won't be able to access those funds until the age of 59 and a half, at least without an early withdrawal penalty or a tax penalty. You definitely don't want to touch those until later. So until you reach that age, you'll need to plan to FIRE off of your other assets, like your stocks or bonds, index funds, etc. Let's say that you want to FIRE at the age of 45, then you'll need to make sure that you have enough stock market assets to withdraw from the ages of 45 to 60. This would include your stocks or dividends from your stocks, index funds, mutual funds, and ETFs that are not inside your retirement accounts. While you're withdrawing from these accounts, your retirement accounts, including your 401k and IRAs, are untouched and still growing on the side, waiting for you to access at the right time. Once you hit 59 and a half, you'll be able to start taking withdrawals from your retirement accounts without penalty. Keep in mind, with the exception of your Roth IRA, you'll generally have to pay taxes on your withdrawals. So as you can see, achieving FIRE takes a lot more planning than initially anticipated by many people. You need to make sure that you take into account the length of retirement, withdrawal amount, taxes, health insurance, and having enough cash on the side to get you through those super down market periods so that you don't have to withdraw from your portfolio when it's deep in the red. Other FIRE methods. Now, I just wanted to briefly mention in this video that you can achieve FIRE through other strategies as well. Another way you can do it is through real estate investing, owning a portfolio of cash flowing properties that you're building equity in and the property values increase over time. Another method, albeit a newer and much less conventional method, but one I feel like will be more common as there's more adoption, is through cryptocurrency. Digital assets like Bitcoin and others can be used to achieve FIRE. There are some creative ways to retire off of your crypto assets, and I'd love to talk more about that in the near future. But I do encourage you to start looking into it and start researching it. Yes, the cryptocurrency space is still quite young and still quite volatile, but the worldwide adoption of this technology is insane and it's here to stay. The volatility, especially with the big cap coins, will eventually settle, and when it does, it will be an incredible way to FIRE. Final thoughts. Again, FIRE is the end goal, but the journey to achieve it looks different for everyone. There isn't just one right way to do it. Just do your research and choose the strategy that best suits you, your goals, and your risk tolerance. For me, I plan to achieve FIRE using a combination of the stock market, cryptocurrency, and real estate. Always do your research, strategize, and take action. I hope you have a better understanding of how you can become financially independent and retire early through the stock market. Remember that this video was just a high-level look into how to accomplish it, but as with anything in personal finance and investing, always do your own research and come up with your own plan to achieve your goals. Now, before I go, for those who plan to FIRE, I want to hear from you. Which methods are you using to achieve FIRE? The stock market, real estate investments, crypto, your business? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. And if you found any value in this video, do me a huge favor and smash that like button and share this video with anyone who could benefit from a little personal finance perspective. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Peace.